be absolutely about anti-gravity and embedded, and Arie will deliver it. But because he motivated me to perhaps be a little less clueless when attending this talk, I said, okay, let's download Antigravity. So I will not waste your time now. I'll just tell you a couple of things that I did and like summarize it. I basically, it's like a VS Code, okay? You do all kind of things. Hey, do you want to have things super automated, not super automated, and so on and so forth? And you start prompting it and telling it things. So I was using like the basic version that that Google like provides me, and I told him, hey, like gather information like from YouTube, like from the YouTube playlist, okay? That has like 100 and something thing. Get the events from Meetup, at least a couple of them, and organize like a website nicely, put some resources, put something like that. And then I told them, hey, they always do some branding stuff. So I told them, hey, update this, update that. So, I mean, it took a couple of iterations. At first, I used like the more expensive model because it was the default. And then it ran out. I never used it. It's the first day I'm using it. And it's like, oh, what's going on? But then I lowered it like to the Flash model, like the faster one, and it still worked pretty nicely. So like what we have here, and this is like, and this is like the, I mean, this is what people usually do, not the embedded people. We're here to see how we can use it like an embedded. Like I just said, okay, enough with all the hassle. Help me like to make a website. I gave it the material from all kind of other places. It nicely scrapped like the video titles and stuff like that from YouTube. At first, it did something pretty cool. I was doing startup like that. It did automations like millions of years ago. I mean, it just opened like browsers, injected events, and it really knew what it was doing. So it was pretty awesome. So this anti-gravity thing is super cool. And I created like a website here. So it's pretty nice. And let's proceed and actually learn about something, but not before. Again, I will encourage you to join our community, join the channel, spread the word. I mean, because I mean, I will move the meetup onto other hands, but to good hands of friends that have been with us like from in the last 6 years. But nobody wants to advertise. I don't want to advertise. So you know, if you enjoy it, just do it. And if you want, please do submit contents. There have been CFPs in all kind of places. You can ask me again at the end of the meetup, okay? So without further ado, Arie, please knock us out.
Yeah, great. So hello to all of you. I had a little sleep time, so I hope I will stay awake. So I will split this talk into 2 parts, live demo and also more of learning the basics, the components of anti-gravity, and most of what I have learned in the past few months. You may and should stop me if you have some better ideas, some things to say about the stuff I'm talking about. I think it's an opportunity for all of us to learn new things. And today's topic will be how to run a real example on a ESP 8266 chip, I think, from scratch to a working example in an hour. So let's start by sharing the screen. So I will start with one moment, with reviewing a fast review of the master plan. Sorry, I don't see. I have only one screen, so I don't see. The comments. So I'll start just to give a little brief about this master plan. It's like really a strong word, but you will see the magic beyond it. So first, the master plan, I am treating the anti-gravity as a co-worker that needs to understand not the specific task, but the whole project and the full orchestra or everything around the project that I'm referring to. So first, I will set some rules and standards. We will see later that I'm talking about MCP integration to notebook LM, to specific notebooks that I've loaded with deep research uh, documents and stuff related and YouTubes and knowledge related to the chip, to the ESP8266. Then we will have a knowledge base, loves the name KB. So we will have a local knowledge base of ongoing process. And then we will have training data on some fallbacks of general knowledge. Let's go a little further. We have some workflows. I will discuss it later. Triage
Did you
workflow.
write?
Yes.
Did you write this MD file, or just you let the AI write the MD file and told him what do you want to do, like which notebook to get, set the rules or things like that, or you wrote the MD file itself?
Good question. The answer, as always, is all of the above. As you see, it's a V2. So I've started with the master plan, ran it, then I made some progress, and then I asked the agent also to analyze it and suggest some better, some updates. This is from one side about the notebook LM I've discussed with Gemini. What is the best approach? I've created another notebook about deep research about the anti-gravity best practices. And then I discussed with Gemini more about what should contain in the master plan, how it should work. So yes, my tip, I will start with the tip that I've learned the hard way, is that you should spend 80% of the time in planning and preparing the action and not and building the correct prompts or the correct workflow and not making like chat do this, no, not this, let's add restrictions, let's not like doing a long conversation, but prepare well the task in front of it and then give the agent some autonomy to run it. I will talk about it in a moment. So just a few more lines. Yeah, there's something called skills. For example, a flash skills that help hardware detection and flashing automation. Some more skills. Triage, define debug triage workflow. Then here we have the repositories that are being used for this project, the Artos package, some BSP that will be initialized, some examples cloned from GitHub, some notebook LM MCP defines, it will check and find the relevant tools, and so on and so on. So first of all, I'll ask him to plan, analyze a master plan and prepare and execute the all phases of it. In case of failures, log them and skip and continue to the next item without stopping the whole process. Don't ask for my approvals for each step. So I give him some instructions. I will wait a moment to see. He will prepare me a plan to proceed with it. We will get back to it in a moment. Any questions?
Yes, thank you. So can you maybe tell how you start, like you prepare this file, never mind like exactly how, but like how do you start work? Like you open like you open the IDE, and then like how do you start a project? I mean, do you just do you open the folder with the file, and this was the first thing that you've done?
Yes.
Okay.
And I want okay, since it's already start working. Now I will skip to the
You're working in a planning
slide.
mode, or
Yes.
you're working in agent mode? Like planning mode will not execute, right? It just will create a plan and then ask you if you want to start and actually implementing the plan.
Yes, you're right. It's I'm not sure because I've told him to not ask my approval and execute all. So you are right and I'm right. We will see in a few minutes if it getting permission to run without further asking, or I still need to approve the initial plan. We will see it in a moment. For now, I will start with the technical part, and then we'll continue. We'll continue to it. Okay, you see my screen?
Yes.
Great. So the next few minutes, we will talk about a little bit of my journey. What? Okay. About my journey in this old area of LLM, or as a agent is making noise. All the area of the LLM and how I reached to my type of work. So, as most of people, I've started by not loving all this Gemini Web or ChatGPT, and not sure it will was afraid or not sure what it will add to my working process. And then I started when I decided that it's time to understand more about what I can achieve using it. I started with Gemini Web, more like general issues solver, VS Code debugger, helper, some documents, some specs, but it was like a general information. It was less about my code deeply. It was hard to give him a specific understanding on the structured code. And then I moved to Gemini CLI. In Gemini CLI, I spent a lot of weeks. It was about 3-4 months ago. And it did some great real work for me for porting protocols from, for example, from SCMI to Shell. It's like was already giving me some good results. And then about a month or two ago, we moved into Antigravity IDE. In the first week or so, 2 weeks, I didn't understand the tool at all. I'm used to work with VS Code, and I didn't understand how to work with this chat, what it helps, what is the real issue, how it should make my work better. But after it, I dive deeper into it, and now I see, and now I'm using it in my work at Google, like daily, doing some real stuff. So first, let's dive a little bit deeper into what are so special about the anti-gravity. So it allows the Gemini yes, any question?
No, stop me. You can stop whenever you feel it's okay for you to answer question. But from the small interface that I saw before that Ron presented the screen, and also you, like the interface itself, the IDE looks like exactly VS Code with like Copilot agent or like Copilot with the same functions, like when you can select the model itself and then tell him to do planning agent, custom agent, and things like that. So what is special about anti-gravity VS or like versus like the VS Code itself? Because it looks the same.
Yes, great question, because this slide will explain a little bit, and I hope that until the end of this presentation, you will feel a little bit more about what is the difference. So one difference is now that Gemini 3 Pro is getting interface or access to 3 different surfaces. So one is writing refactoring. The editor is connected also to all the repo of the code. Second one is to the terminal. And third one is to the browser. It is more related into like higher layers of coding, front-end, back-end, but also we will see the usage of the browser in interacting using the MCP with Notebook LM. So just from this slide, we see that now the Gemini Pro can link and understand and learn from now like in the editor, the static code, the terminal usage of it, and also from documents and some preview and maybe with more web issues, so web issues or maybe simulation or maybe some browser stuff. So it have more learning aspects, let's say. Also, I added some hallucination grade. What happens when we are using it badly and what happens when we are using it best. So when we are using it bad, it means vibe coding or turbo coding without giving it the good rules, workflows, and skills. So we have some medium risks that you will be confused and understand the context and doing making more bugs than fixing them. The best strategy is agent assistant implements human in the loop. We will see this is the way I am treating it. It's very important. So we will not give the agent permission to create and run and use and validate everything. We will always have a step that the human is supposed to verify that the work is done properly. And the next, this is, I think, the most important slide of it all. I think that the real change in our mind from Gemini CLI to anti-gravity is to understand and give the agent some autonomy in the process. It's not anymore to just a specific task to understand it and to prepare it the best way. It's more like an architect to understand and to plan the whole project or a scope in the project and help him understand it the best we can and direct him to a specific mission, but let him in autonomy in how to implement it, like a good partnership between a senior and a junior, or a senior and an experienced. That it's still the senior. We are the senior. We are responsible for the actions but we need to guide him and to help him to understand the full picture, and not to be like over monitoring that we want a specific task. This is like the overview, and now in the perspective of anti-gravity, there are two possible ways to communicate with the agent. A plain mode. That plain mode is like deep research in a way, or it's talking to the thinking models of the LLMs. It helps to give some idea, general idea. For instance, from my real life, I've prepared some workflows that helps me to triage logs from emulation run. Emulation run have multiple log files, multiple lines. It's not so easy to understand for me manually in 10 minutes what happened exactly. So I've worked with the plain mode, so we will build some triage workflow for it. But from the other hand, there is the fast mode. Fast mode is optimized for speed. You can think about it the Gemini 3 Pro and the Gemini Flash. This is for simpler tasks. Variables renaming, typo speaks, localized tasks, execute some bash scripts that you give him all the script and he should run on it. The speed is better, and also as Ron mentioned earlier, the cost of API is lower, but there is a high risk. If you try to give him a complex task, he can go into the death loop. So it starts to make some micro edits that looping and creating new bugs, and it's a danger. So it's only fast mode is only for speed, small tasks. The plain mode is optimized for reasoning, so the risk is very low. You are responsible to the plan. As Amir said before, after you prepare the plan, you are the approval of the plan. So it won't go. You are staying responsible. Now I will take a moment to see if the plan started to run or not. And as we can see, it started to run, and we will talk about it later on. Okay, next slide. I'm sorry about the presentation. Vibe sliding is also a tough issue. The first things that helps the agents to understand the scope or the way we think, it's rules. Rules can illustrate it's like the mind. We have global rules. Global rules as part of the home directory. These rules are universal standards, are relevant for all. Always use TypeScript. I don't know, maybe always use tabs and not spaces. And always commit to Git. Always add description. Always add commit title and message. It's a global rules. There are work area rules. For example, after each debug session, add a learning post-mortem document. So the idea of the rules is to narrow down the way we are thinking, or the way we want the model to behave. So it's best to do strict rules. It also eliminates the hallucination. So the idea of everything around the components of the anti-gravity is how to make the agent to understand the best and also to treat it in a closed environment. Yes, ask me please, I don't see the messages.
Can you give an example of rules file?
Sure, I will demonstrate everything from the demo in the end of the slides. Any other questions?
As much as I see like till now, it seems like the anti-gravity is like the same as VS Code, like VS Code, but with Copilot inside. So like you have an agent and you run it, and the agent knows it has access to the terminal, access to the web, access to the files in the work directory or the Git itself, whatever you are like. In VS Code, it doesn't matter on which folder you open the project on. Like you can just open a folder and then let the agent get to know the code inside the folder. So you can tell him to build, like get familiar with the code structure, code structure, and create a set of rules for you. Like how is this repo uses C, like the FSMs, like the variable structures and everything, and let him set an empty file for itself that you can refer to it every time like you open a new session. It seems like the Antigravity is like the same as VS Code, just like maybe with a different agent, like maybe the agent is something by Google, like Gemini agent and not Copilot, or I hope I
So I
explained.
think, yes, I started by saying that I'm not familiar with the Copilot for the last 2 years. So I assume that it made some progress from my area of usage.
I think if you will open Copilot now, like VS Code with Copilot, you will feel like the same like in Antigravity, exactly the same.
It's not it's okay, but I think that's a real issue. I'll try to explain with a different example, and maybe also the Copilot become greater. So I don't have anything specific to say about it. It's like about, for example, I wanted to make my real project like a static code analysis that will allow, in my world, I have a interface logic and component logic, yes. And for example, there's a function called show display. So it might be wrong to set it in the logic component logic file, source file. It should be in the interface logic source file, but maybe in component of display, it should be in component logic, yes. So it's not like a pattern-based analysis that can understand where it's the right behavior. So before the LLMs, it will be hard to build the correct rules. So to understand where the implementation of the logic is correct and the interface is wrong. But since Gemini came to our world and all the others, I'm a representative of the Gemini, but all the LLMs for this point are the same for me. It helps us to understand better logs or text, or analyze better speaking, understanding the meaning of the code as I understand it. So it might be that many of these rules are also supported in Copilot for more regex expression way, or more about programming approaches. But I think here is the plus one, the extra effect is that this is written in human text, human words, like use project design system. I'm trying to teach him, but not he should understand what is design system by itself. Maybe Copilot does it also. So I'm not arguing about the Copilot. I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, he has the same set of like rules, skills that you can create
sure,
in big
yes.
files. Yeah, but this is a good intro of all the capabilities and how to
Okay, I'm not. We can make it's a good idea. Make next week or whenever you want another
in VS Code.
meetup about it. Yeah, it will be great. Okay, let's continue. I'm sorry because I want to. Next important issue is the workflows. There are workflows and there are skills and rules. These are the three must components that allows us to shake down and create a better create the agents work better and work as we want them and as we expect. So the workflows in here is prepackaged is like an MD file that explains a complex multi-step processes. From my previous example, the emulator triage I'm making with the workflow that understands what logs to copy, what logs to analyze, what to find, what to reach for, what are the ignore lists that are errors, that not real errors, and so on and so on. Helps us to create workflows and also add about skills, and also in a moment I will show some cheat sheet and explain the three parts together. So the rules are like the mind, how we think, what we should do, what we shouldn't do. The skills we will talk about in a moment. It's like the toolbox, how we want to use. We want for example, from the demo, we want a flash skill that will know how to communicate with the hardware. So it's like our toolbox, and the workflows is like our hands. So we have the mind that knows the rules. We have the hands that knows some complex processes, how to do stuff. And we have a toolbox, the skills that creating or learning each toolbox furthermore. So same here. Hallucination grade analysis, bad if we doing everything manual. So we don't have workflows for stuff. We are it's like LLM prompting, usual LLM prompting, like Gemini Web, when you are writing one sentence without context. It makes a lot of hallucinations. And from the other side, a structured prompt with examples and understanding what we are trying to get. And it lowers the hallucinations significantly. Another issue that the notebook LM added, but I didn't have enough time to dive deep into it, that the 1 million tokens talks about that the native context is now a lot of higher than previous, so it allows a mono-repo, it allows to add the full tree of many lines of code with documentation and with user history, and to be able to communicate and to understand everything. I'm not an expert on this slide, but it was from a notebook LM research, so I think it's at least should we be exampled or tried or sampled using a lot of context and see how it treats it. And the things that I'm think is the best is verify. The human in the loop, I will show it in an example in next thing. This is the most important thing. I am making him the freedom to build, to implement the plan, but then before I give him a permission to proceed, I will go over all the implementation plan steps, all the tasks that it created, and generate and fix, give him comment about every step that isn't fully correct. For example, from today's working flow, I had some script and he told me that he will run it with flag A or run it for task B. So I tell him, no, give me the full arguments list, full path. So it's your responsibility to make sure that he understands and builds the test correctly. And when you are doing it, it will allow you to be, the hallucination will be very low risk. When you are reviewing it and when you approving it before, also a cool stuff is there are artifacts that you can and should suggest or request evidence that it worked well. For example, if I am asking him to analyze logs, so I want him to give me the full path and the sizes and the time when he measurement and the last 10 lines. Or if I'm making something browser related, like Ron's example, I want him to record the browser usage. I want to give me screenshots of the states. This is another example for the question before about about Copilot and Antigravity. Antigravity, I don't know if it's the only one or not, but it have a internal Chrome inside the Antigravity, and it allows us also to be controlled by the agents. And it's real cool stuff. It's working pretty well. It takes a lot of time, but then you can create a plan, make it step by step. For each step, add some validation plan, add some evidence, require some evidence. And then when it finishes, you can understand better what happened. You can make a post-mortem to understand what was the gap between what you thought and what the agent did. It's really important. This is, I think, the most important slide from all the show. Do you have any questions for this point? Please talk
Yes.
because I'm not. Yes.
I do, if it's okay. So when you say like, I mean, I played with it today, so I think I know more than yesterday. But sorry, I lowered the hands. But when you say like documentation, like Google Doc like comments, you mean when it asks you like to review, when it says like, hey, review this, and then it lets you put like some inline things inside its plan? That's what you mean? Or there is some syntax? I mean, maybe when you do the demonstration.
Yes, I will show you.
Okay.
Another thing I wanted before, this this also was done about an hour ago, so I think it's good. So it's like understanding the best how we treat stuff. So the workflow is like an orchestra about what we want to do, what the coder agent will do, what the tester agent will do, what will be the review feedback, what the deployed feature, like define end-to-end goal. Yes, this is the flow. Each of the agents should have or understand skills, coding skill, documentation skill, debugging, security research. It may also be more focused for the strengths and limitations. And the rules are also constrained some from one side, it should be what is the must, maybe a checklist for each task, what should it own? Maybe each task should have some task description. You shouldn't do anything without documentation. You should you should alert if you some unsecured behavior or so on. So this is also an important slide to understand a little bit more about the relationship between the most useful components. Another issue that I didn't cover here, it's a sandbox. There is a secure mode that allows all the Antigravity and other AI IDEs will give you the freedom between how much autonomy you give to the agent. If it can go and do agent-driven without your approval, if you should review it all. And also there is like a sandbox that you can allow comments and don't allow comments and limit comments. For example, you can limit out a pseudo comment. So it can't even think about using pseudo comment. Can't even think about removing from a root directory. From the second example, maybe you can remove from a temporary path. Yes, so this is also some important behavior that can be done. And now let's go back. I think I talked too much. Now let's go back a little bit to the code. Not Spotify, but Antigravity. Okay. So first of
Can I
all, let's
ask a question?
Yes.
The slides. So you also like vibe slide them?
Sure. Do you think I have time on my schedule? Yes, but it slides. So Google Antigravity, I've created a notebook LM that took 45 sources about best practices, rated best practices from the web. Also Google's some documents, some YouTube channels. And based on it, I talked with Gemini, with Nano Banano to create, based on the information of the notebook, this cheat sheet of work, probe, skill, and rule. So it's not like
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, there are some little mistakes, or like I don't know, maybe like Google Gemini also has cursor rules, but like I mean, it's awesome, and I'm going to take lessons with you. I know you don't have time. It's awesome. Thank you.
Sure. So let's come back to the plan. I want to demonstrate that we talked about I don't know, half of an hour. And Amir, I was right. When I told him to approve it all, he continued and executed all the things that he achieved without further asking me. And let's first of all take a moment to see and feel this air. It's unbelievable. I don't know many of you how much time it takes only to clone all repos and try to build it in an environment. Here it's on a Mac, maybe on Windows. How many iterations it takes? It doesn't take half an hour of drinking coffee in the next room. Without going into details, the work that was done here is unbelievable from my point of view. So we will review it in a moment. Yes, we have some skills, some workflows in the agent. We have some demos, repo, some BSP that was initiated here, built the authors, the notebook LM, the project lab. We have already project lab with build, yes, with some build knowledge base, run build scripts. That is all was done because of the, let's say, good plan preparation. So it wasn't done because I have great eyes or I have the understanding. It was done because this was good enough explanation, master plan, orchestra, whatever name you will say. So before we are going to dive deeper, it's already something. I think it's unbelievable. It's like a magic happens. So this is a good start point. And let's go back to the first prompting that we did. There is also a few important windows. This is I will assume that you're familiar with VS Code. This is the Explorer window as we are used for. There is also a terminal as we are familiar with. And there is in the right side, there is the chat window. Another way, this is a project currently I'm using. It more like feels me good because I'm staying connected with the code and can see and can understand. But there is also a one way above in the autonomy, and it calls from make it command E. It calls agent manager. Agent manager is the idea that I can have more than one workspace. Let's now focus on Meetup 3. So the idea here is that I'm not looking at the code and the details of the code. I can operate multiple prompts, multiple agents concurrently. So we are seeing here the same prompt that we are saw here. Yes, same analyze, and I can open another conversation in the meetup in the same project for swim, summarize and analyze and summarize the building, the hardware, demo, communication, did it, pass or fail, and why. I'm using the planning mode because it's not, as you see, may see it's not a simple request. A complex request that can go to a different approaches. So first of all, it tries to understand what I want him to do. So it starts by analyzing issues, and it can work separately from another work that I'm doing. So meanwhile, I can focus on the first agent, or I can even create. This is also some feature that I'm not sure that Copilot have. We have multiple agents that runs asynchronic way. Or
This is like multiple agents or like multiple threads. You have multiple threads with agents, like you.
I'm not sure what is the difference in this context.
I'm also like you have multiple windows open. One window you cleanse and
No.
extracted.
Yeah, I have each workspace from this point of view. It's a project. I can have also multiple projects. For example, I have another project when okay. So for another project, I can also run multiple agents. So it's like a multiple agents for the same project. I'm not sure if it answers. Sorry, can you repeat your question?
No, I just didn't understand, like, if it's multiple agents or like multiple windows when you ask, not the same agent. You're like different agents, but they're not like orchestra together. Like you have one agent or one session that you asked about the project that the first agent created, right? Like this is the
Yes, yes, you're right. It's something in the middle. It's something that requires some understanding how not to get on each other's feet.
What-
Yes, it's that.
what I wanted to try
Yes.
to understand, or maybe it's created in anti-gravity or like implemented in anti-gravity. I wanted to take like an output of one agent and feed it to another agent to like criticize it from a different model. Let's say for Claude to create a code, and Gemini 3 to criticize the code and feed it back to the Sonnet, like feed back to the Claude model.
Yes, no problem. You can create a new session. Also, here is an important thing that you can create a session in a specific project, or create some playground outside of project, just to play, to understand the prompts. So let's say we are looking in the meetup. So as we say before, we have a planning mode and first mode that we discussed about, and we have also a different auto mode that supported. So for example, I can analyze. Strudel gives you the files, master plan, MD, and give, and grade it. How well it is designed. So, for example, I could from another one just create this file and then paste it to the first one. So here is a. This is what you.
A minus.
What? Okay, this is what it answers the question.
Not sure. Like, never mind. Maybe let's talk.
Okay, yeah, we can discuss later. Okay.
May I ask a little question?
Yeah, sure.
Is it possible to use anti-gravity completely on premise? So if I have servers with my own LLMs and expose them throughout standard open AI API, I could add this to the anti-gravity?
I'm not sure. Sorry, I didn't try it, but it might be like it's selecting a model, so it might be a way to integrate your model into it and disable the other models. But I'm not sure if it allows.
Okay, and if you know something about telemetry, if anti-gravity has some kind of telemetry that sends data to the developers?
You mean telemetry from your project into Gemini database?
No, about usage of the IDE at all.
I'm not sure. Sorry, I don't. I'm not familiar with it.
Okay, like installation or error dumps or something like that, like time when IDE was used or something like that.
There is inside of the settings. There is you can say something about debugging or enabling it. There is something about like all the stuff is enable telemetry because you collect
Okay.
data.
You could disable it.
Google,
Okay,
yes.
understood.
Yes.
Thanks.
Okay. So for now, okay, pending shift, no device detected. Okay, so for now, let's go back into the details. So I've asked him to analyze and summarize what he was able to do. So I see that the hardware status is skipped, that he wasn't able to connect to it. So first of all, I will disconnect and reconnect it. And let's go back and continue with the suggest mode. Gemini, because I have some codes to it. I have reconnected the hardware. Please try to communicate with it. If press run the demo, blinking code. If fails, show me the error. Okay. Here is again the idea is that he will think about the reasoning and how this should be done. Start with skill, what skill it checks. Here we have a skills that called flash. So we tries with the flash skill to understand, looking at the LS, let's see if it finds the correct. Interesting. Maybe my oh, great. So now let's see. Seems that it's working. It was able to identify the chip. See if the blink method will work. If you're working, analyzing stuff. And this is also, this is the cool thing is that I've built a skill that explains how to flash and how to monitor and understand the chip and connect to it. And I've given him some basic task without be familiar with all the bare metal details. I was able in few moments, to make a running code on the hardware without having the best understanding. And now yes.
Do you have like a folder that you keep all the skills to just like give the agents according to the project you're building? Like you see,
Yes.
keep a skill folder in your PC
Sure.
and just copy the skills that you want to the specific project?
Even better. First of all, I don't need to have the skills project if I can explain the best way the skill in the master plan. It's like really, it's unbelievable. Sorry that I'm here with the passionate guy, but it's unbelievable that from not very long document, yes, about 100 lines of code, it understood and built the skills correctly. So maybe if the skills here is too general and you want a more specific skill, you may not, yes, run it. Let's see how many times the flash skill appears here. Yes, the flash skill it's not like appears very much in the code. It appears in 2 lines. So maybe if you will describe it more about 15 lines, it will be, you understand, you don't need to have the attachments, you need to understand and how to build correctly the skills. Another thing that I've learned from last week to now, that there is a skill creator that Anthropics that who presented this whole skill protocol. So they created the skill creator skill, and it explains more about what skill should be, how it should be done, la 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 la. So in the next project I've used, I've added this line Yes, for the skill. So before, something like this, yes, it's now only ongoing issue, but phase 0, understand how to build skills based on something like this, not going into details. This is
Did you try? Did you try like tell him I'm working with ESP8266 and build me a hello world example? Did you
So
try something?
this is the things that you need to be careful with. It's like my idea is not to test the agent, but to eliminate or try to limit the hallucinations on it. So I want, for example, I found that there are AI demos project for ESP8266, yes, and there are already stuff that I can start with and then change. For example, I've changed it the blinking speed or change the code, give him the code and ask him for make some changes inside of it. Is it the best way to check if we can build it by its own without best skills, workflows, toolbox? I'm not sure, but I'm not sure. Like my idea isn't make vibe coding zero referrals vibe coding code. It's more like, for me, yes, from my point of view, it's more like understanding and better do it usable for my day job and for my habits, or not for like only for job issue, but it's like it's for me it saves a lot of these days, not like in the future when it will not replace us. In these days, it saves me a lot of hours of debugging, not important stuff. It's like about telemetry. So I asked him to make a knowledge base. So what is a knowledge base? Every task that he built, he summarized it in some knowledge. Yes, what he was able to create, what was success. So I have some what was able to run. Yes, another issue here is to creating some telemetry. For example, here in the project lab, in the agent, we have the workflows. For example, triage. So it monitor, it capture logs. It adds some make monitor command. Then it classifies. And this is a real cool thing. I didn't tell him or let him understand the details about what is crash or reset, how the errors look like, what is the structure of the strings. He tries to analyze, he have an autonomy here. This is the important stuff. Like, let's think about him as an experienced programmer. It's unbelievable. Check Wi-Fi network logs. It's like a difficult, not so simple. It's a complex, only this line is a complex issue. To try to create a Python scripts that understand it, it's not clear. It can today be some Wi-Fi issue, tomorrow will be some new feature, or maybe the syntax will be changed. Like not so easy task as we think of. And it's related onto the context window. Maybe I will need it to add some document spec that will be updated with the latest Wi-Fi protocols, for example. Yeah, it's not like I can give him without a context and he will do complex stuff by its own. But if you use it correctly to try to reduce the hallucinations, it's for me, it's unbelievable. Yes, like I can say him, run a triage top, and he will try to understand. Like triage, yes, it's not like he will give me the root cause and explain and analyze and will fix without my need inside the process. But it's just when you're reading the slides, it's a lot. It can be a working day. Yes, it's not so simple to understand it all. Another issue that I found very work for me is, for example, I've tried to refactor or add some feature and understand how it works in a different building flags. So just to prepare a build flag, run it, collect the logs, and then rerun it on 10 different flavors of the flags. It's a hard task for a human being. It's hard for me not to make errors, to be exactly, to make sure that I have rebuilt the stuff, to make sure that it's a proper flavor. Yes, just an ordinary iterations, multiple steps iteration, it can be very buggy for me. And so only this by its own, it already saves a lot of time. And these things I did with Gemini CLI. Now these tools are, look, it's unbelievable. I've run free prompts. Yes. It's preparing and running a demo file. Let's think about 2 years ago if I told you that I will give some README file to an app and will give him 2 comments and I will be able to run a working bare metal code that won't crash, that will run, that will press build. Yes, it's like so this is like my summary to the. Let's go back to see you all. So this is like my summary to what was important for me to show you. So that is these tools are it can, for me it's not unbelievable. I think I said it a few times. It is a great way to learn stuff. Yes, if I was a student now, I can in a few minutes to run a ClearTools full solution and then try to understand or make bugs on this, or ask the agent to teach me specific stuff in the way. For me as a working in silicon validation, I have a lot of things that I'm planning and doing with it, building complex tasks and validate them and analyze them. It's hard work to do manually. Also debug, for example, thinking, trying to deep research using Gemini, some known issues in specific scope, and then understand from it, learn from it how it was debugged, and create a skill that will try to do the same way, debug steps, in my case, and understand where we get with it, or connect the JTAG and now create a more complex workflows. We have a lot of skills now that we can implement in our work, and I think it's that these days is a must. It's already not. I think it's for me, yes, from my perspective. A year ago, it was like early birds, and we want to do some cool UI stuff. But these days, I think also for the embedded systems, I think getting skills and understand it and work with it correctly, it's not only saves time, you can master better the code and the workflows in the system. Ron, I'm giving you back the.
Any more questions? First of all, yes, it is unbelievable. Come on. It is unbelievable. Anybody had any questions that were not answered?
Yes, so maybe a little question about what
Because
is
there was in the
your
chat. Arie,
perspective.
maybe you can also have a quick look. It's, somebody just pointed out that if something was not answered. Yes, sorry, Vladimir. First
Like your opinion about future of embedded developers, if you have such impressive idea that can make a work for in one day, with it you can do a work that you have to do like a week or something. What are perspectives?
I think I will say my. It's not Google's opinion, my opinion. Yes, I was about half of a year ago very afraid or hiding from all this LLM revolution, afraid that it will take our place, it will take our jobs. And the thing that I've changed with my understanding was that I'm not controlling if it will take our job, but I want to be the last guy in Google that will stay at work. To be the last guy in Google that stays at work, I need to master the LLM. I can't afford myself to say too high, to say it will not make a change. So this is my personal, yes, not Google's not. I'm speaking about myself as Arie. My perspective is that I must be a good, maybe the best, let's say, but a good working or a good trainer or good mentor of the LLM. So I will have the job tomorrow. If it will be, yes.
Yeah, I can say that, like, I think that a lot of juniors will have a really hard time, and this is what actually happening. Like, juniors have hard time to find a job because the agents are becoming really good at. They are really good at writing code, but more experienced people are more vital, because when you have someone that writes really good code, but you need to like tell him how to do the things, or like build the architecture for it to implement and monitor how it builds, and if it build it like correctly, or if it build it like how do you say, like efficient, and didn't use too much DRAM space, unused variable, things like that. Like, you need to monitor whatever he does, and you need to be like, you as the user of the agents must be experienced in order to judge the solution of the agent. If it matters, if it matters to you, like, I can build a website and I don't care how the website will be built, because I don't care about efficient or how the website should be built with my point of view. But when I build in a firmware, I need to criticize the agent a lot.
But I want to debate you a little bit. I understand the point. The debate that I want to say that our experience is not came from no space. Yes, like there are many technical guides and many from the academy works about how to build more efficient stuff. Yes, it's like there are documents, or there is a known or knowledge about these things. My say is for juniors is that now we have I'm not sure how more years we will have so cheap cost super tools LLMs for almost free, from my point of view. Like Gemini Pro is $20 a month, something like that. So that you can, from one side, you can build a working solution very fast, very fast. It's unbelievable. Yes, with one meetup, I can set working example, and if I will spend 3-4 days, we can have a server working with telemetry and more efficient way. Yes, it's an unbelievable.
We are building
progress.
much bigger projects and much faster. I see it, like we're building
No,
things from scratch.
and the second view is that now we have tools. Notebook LM, I'm not mastering it yet. It's like unbelievable. It's not only for you to add a few specs and ask questions. It's like a real classroom that you can have a lot of features. You can learn from it a lot. So the other point of view for junior is to understand and mastering about prompting, deep research on Notebook LM to find the specific topics, as you said, how to efficiently work with memory, how to debug processes advancedly, how it is done in the real working stations, and to understand it, to learn it with Notebook LM, with audio guides, with mentors, with learning guides, and then go back to the project to build and make like work by itself to understand and make a more working experience by itself. But from the other hand, the seniors are good. There are seniors that are good in things that they are doing and not well or not prepared to work to master the LLMs. And also, I think that the juniors, I'm not telling it's easy, and I'm not minimizing the effort or the hardness of these days. I'm accepting it, but I think it's also can step up. So the work with the LLM to study, to understand it, to experience things that the world. Who could for example, JTAG, yes, run me. I don't know. Take a cheap JTAG probe and connect it and understand what is done as before for working. Now I think it's possible. It's like I don't know how expensive it is, but it's few $100. It's not like about what it and how you build to work it with it and how do you understand what it's done. It's like now you have tools that were unreachable 2 years ago, but you are also correct. So I'm not. It's hard to be a junior. I think the skills that are required now from junior are different. Mastering
Are different, but I think that the experience in building the projects, what works, what does not work, how is your project built, and then knowing how to manipulate the agent or guide the agent of how to build the correct code for your project. Like our project or projects are hundreds of files of C files and H files and the application protocol layer drivers, and the agent needs to understand all this context, and you need to understand where it's better to place components, place code, how to split the workflow. Don't like you gave the agent told him to build like a full project from the start, and you gave him a really good the architecture file. I can say that I never invest so much effort in building like a very comprehensive file like that. I do use MD files for if I'm developing some model, I tell the agent to create an MD file to describe the model and all of its context. So for when he will need to use this model or
create or change things in the model, you would have the basic empty file that like explains the context at why things were created like that. So for each model that I build using the agent, I'm telling him to create an MD file for other sessions to have the MD files to get familiar with all the contexts. You understand? Like we're building a big project. Each like a folder or each component has its own MD file that describes the component. And then when you're like opening sessions, you can let the agent read the MD files or like go to this folder, read the MD file. Now we are going to expand it or add capabilities or use it in another folder or another app.
So for example, I want to 2 points. Yes, I start for the second one. For example, in my project, I have some API interface with commands that are dynamically added, changed. So when I'm preparing a plan to build and execute on silicon or on emulation some flow, I've built a skill that knows in what files to look for a shell handler or a CMI handler or any other handler to read and understand and prepare some dry validation to make sure that the arguments and the signature is correct for every comment that I'm doing. So it's like taking your approach to the next level from a static MD files to try to understand how to wrap it as a skill that can be reused. I'm not sure, it's like an idea, yes, I'm not the best. For the first part, that about the professionality and knowing bare metal stuff and all the small details, Ron, if I may use your name without your permission, I can say that Ron is the most incredible person that I know that knows all the little small details of everything from the build route up and down. But as he told in the start of this session, he's not the best agent developer. And
No, we will not, and Ron will need will need to understand how to use it. And I think that if Ron will understand how to use the agent, he will do it like really good because he knows the constraints.
For example, if I was Arie, yes, and I wanted to understand better build route, yeah, I can take all Ron's lectures from YouTube and also find another few more Ron's worldwide experts that did lectures to summarize their knowledge using Gemini and Notebook LM, the understanding on build route about the debug issues, the skills, to prepare 5-10 skills on how to debug issues with build route. I'm not saying that it's the similar or the same expertise that Ron got. I'm saying that it can like create a really strong agents, and I can use this knowledge to be the idea is the main idea of anti-gravity and cursor and all the AI ideas. This is not what Google pays me for. The idea is that you are moving from a developer age or area into a manager area, or maybe like
Architect.
not moving, not stepping out. Yes, like making it more of multi-view perspective. Yes, and in this multi-view perspective, my argue or my debate is that maybe someone that has mastered the LLM knows how to do the best work from each tool that we got.
We'll do a better job.
He will take all the, not all, but many of the knowledge of Ron's, will take all the specs that exist, will take all the post-mortem issues that are on the web. Yes, he will knows how to take the relevant knowledge, not everything. Not will take you are a senior expert debugger. No, you will know what skills are relevant, what issues are relevant, and we will take just the relevant information and build from its skills.
Strong agent. Will be the
And
strong
this-
agent.
And this will, I'm not sure that debugging a new real issue, Ron, I'm not sure that Ron will win. And even if Ron will win, I'm saying that the cost of the junior experience, I'm still called the motherfucker LLM master, will be cheaper and
And
more
better.
efficient.
Yes.
And more efficient. And this
better.
is my thought about the future of the things. And this is why we, like, I don't know, the grandfather of the few ages ago must change. It's not like if, when I have time, we must be maybe not the best master because it's hard. It's hard to understand these prompted skills. It's hard to understand how to talk to LLM because I'm feeling stupid. Yes. For example, my Gemini, when I don't tell him a specific persona, I have a customized suggestion for him to try and build a best persona that can answer my question. Yes, it's like I'm stupid. What? But it gets a better results. So it's like for us, even for us, or for me, thinking it's not really just for me, but understanding how to communicate correctly with the LLM for best resulting, it's not so simple. Everyone that I talk to explain how I'm communicate with Gemini Web, that I have one temporary chat when I'm preparing the prompt, and another chat that I'm copying it to ask, I want to buy a new car. How to ask the prompt to make comparisons about relevant models. Yes, for me, it takes 15 minutes to create the prompt. For my browser, it takes 1 minute. Who will get the better results? It's understandable. Who will get the better headache? It's also understandable, but we must control. We must be one step higher. And then the hallucinations. The real issue is to understand, from my point of view, that when we get hallucinations or when we are working and the agent make mistakes and we are happy because we are smarter and he makes mistakes and we are not. We need to, from my point of view, it's like my fault. I didn't ask the right prompt. I didn't give him the right context. I didn't give him the right rules, the right skills. So it's like more of my responsibility how to build this orchestra well. And it's ongoing work and it's taking a lot of hours. I can say like a 90%, I stand in a task and it will go working by itself, and I'm drinking champagne on the beach and he is making all of my work. And then it's not like this. I think it's like more about 60-40. Like for tasks that I want, for example, emulation. As you may know, emulation runs, it's something like you're preparing it for a few minutes and then waiting for a few hours and then executing for more hours. And this one batch of running, it takes 15 hours. So first, the plan of preparing a good skill or a good workflow, for me, it took about 3 working days. Not like very simpler or very fast way to create. But this workflow now, I can start the work plan a work, then review the changes, and I only need to add 3 more fixes before I let it go on. Even now, it's not human in the loop is still valid. It's still important phase. It's not like drop the task and go to sleep and it will work. And now I will review. Ron, there's something important from the chat.
Yeah, so I'll take the time. First of all, thanks. Thanks for the kind words. We know you are exaggerating. You know, I mean, we should have another conversation like that maybe at another time because it's so interesting. I mean, also like about what the future holds. Like it's crazy. Everything also improved like crazy. I mean, what
Sorry,
the
guys,
other,
last drop.
yeah. So
Sorry,
let's
guys.
wrap it. 1 second. Thank you so much, Arie. Thank you so much. Yeah, let's wrap it up. I just wanted to thank you a lot. The video will be available. Maybe next time we'll do it earlier. It's a lot. It's a lot of work. A lot of work. So kudos, Arie. Really, thank you. And of course, I wanted to ask Arie to do another one, but I would really appreciate if one of you or more did that, and we can just meet again just to talk like in the last 10 minutes. I also have a lot to say without like a presentation, but a lot to say, and I do think that skills wise, I mean, I think we'll still have job because it's important. We as electrical engineers and like embedded engineers, there are so many things that we know, even the things that we forgot, but that we can reason about. And the people who are like great prompt engineers but don't have, I mean, if they don't, when things go wrong, they still can't, make a little bit sense of that. They will work forever with the LLMs. I mean, these are like my experiences for myself when I said like, okay, like, yeah, but yeah, we're going to set another one, and let's take it offline. Unless anybody wants to say anything more, the video will be uploaded. And thank you. For me, it's been very, very insightful and interesting. And I hope that for you as well. So thank you. And I will add like the talk to the YouTube channel. I sent like the link before, and it's here as well. And there is like a CFP, but you have like the details. Like it would be very, very, very. It will help me a lot if like if people just submitted and I did not need to do the work, and myself in asking and asking and asking. And this talk is like 100% because of Arie and because he asked, he answered questions in one of the groups and like in a WhatsApp group. And then I said, okay, dude, while we're at it, go ahead and deliver a talk. So thank you, and thank you, everyone. And let me stop the recording. And if anybody wants to ask something personal or just talk, let's talk at stay 3 more minutes, and then let's go to sleep. So thank you, and do submit talks.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.